How's it going, everybody? Today we're adding a new show to the weekly lineup. This is Land of the Lustrous, or Hoseki no Kuni. If you want to be able to vote on which shows I do, you can check out the Patreon. People who support me over there with any amount get to vote in the polls, and from the polls that I conducted a while ago to determine what shows I would do, this was one of the highest voted, but not quite as high as the other ones that I already started. So now, after we've been doing this for a little while, I've decided to start adding some of the other shows that were also relatively highly voted on. So we're starting Land of the Lustrous. Also, if you go to the Patreon, you can also get these episodes a week early. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know much about this except that it's CG, or at least partially, and that the characters are anthropomorphized gems with no genders, I think. The main character is named Phos. That is all I know. So I've seen some of the manga artwork, and it is really nice looking. I know that. So I don't know. I don't really know what to expect, but I've heard general good things. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. These will be coming out on Saturdays. And yeah, check out the Patreon. You can skip to the discussion with the time code in the description while you're down there. But for now, we're going to watch episode 1. So let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, play. I'm very curious, because I don't know what the show will actually be about. So maybe it's just the characters that are CG. I don't have a problem with CG if it's done well. Okay, time for work. And I believe, did this air last year? 2017? This was 2017, wasn't it? I think so. Yeah, it's definitely got an interesting look about it. So yeah, she's Phos, as in like phosphorus. Master Kondo. I like the hair. I like the way they look so far. They're going to battle, but she's not. I can see it being a little jarring at first. Don't know what they're doing, what they're going to battle, who they're fighting off, but Phos doesn't have a job apparently. Okay, Master's pretty old. So yeah, I can see it being a little jarring. And it is a little bit, but I like the way they look. Just from what I've seen of the manga artwork, and just from the little I know about it, I feel like the CG and the way their hair looks and everything, I think it fits. So yeah, I want to know what the deal is with this world. Phos doesn't have a job, maybe a little bit of a troublemaker. This is the Master, huh? Not what I expected, honestly. Phosphophilite, okay. So is it Phos? I'm gonna go with Phos, not Phos. Phos sounds better. And what exactly are we fighting? A Rorschach test? Okay. Yeah, again, I'm just like visualizing what I've seen of the manga art, and yeah, this... I'm liking the visuals already. Like, look at... What the hell am I looking at right now? This is cool. A Lunarian sunspot. Okay. But he seems alerted by this. Like, it was small, so they're going to take care of it themselves and not tell him, but he seems to want to go out there. So let's see what kind of fighting we have. I didn't know if there was going to be action in the show. I didn't know what it was like. But let's see what they can do. They've just got, like, their swords for now. Pretty agile. Pretty light on their feet. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it's interesting. Okay. Captured a gem person and are using their gems as weapons. Yeah, they harvest them as jewelry. That's messed up. From the moon, Lunarian. There's 28 of them. Thank you for explaining all of this to me. Okay. A lot of exposition right off the bat here, but it's stuff I wanted to know. I feel like she should already know that, but whatever. And now he's just explaining her to her. Hey, you suck. I don't like you. Here's everything that's wrong with you. She's not particularly good at anything. I mean, at worst, she'll just get killed. And, apparently will have lost nothing if she sucks. But she could get somebody else killed. So here they are with their gem harvesting. Oh, this boy can just fucking... He just... Whoa, yeah, they got messed up. He just Thanos'd them. How does he do that? It's nuts. This is quite unique. The hardness level. I like how it's so weird that they're like literal gems. Yeah, you're too fragile to be in battle. And you're particularly valued for your color. I feel like I'm going to need to watch this episode twice. For all the details. So those girls who got parts of themselves taken, like, can they recover at all? Or what's the deal with them? Apparently they overestimated themselves or underestimated the enemy. Okay, they're being healed up. But were there pieces left behind and they can use those to reconstruct them, or did they take any pieces? If they take pieces, or you just lose them? Like I said, I need to rewatch this, but maybe it would be better to rewatch it more later after I learn more details, and, you know, we'll see. Okay, so if you get all the pieces, you can put them back together. So yeah. Midichlorians, I see. Put some makeup on. That's interesting, her being so fragile. It's true. I wonder what's going to allow... I assume she's got to join the fight, being the main character. What's going to allow her to do that? And it's interesting what she said before. I've just been thinking about it. About because they can be put back together and everything. How they have a hard time giving up on things. Yeah, I was pretty sure she didn't just get stabbed in the face. Yeah, this is phosphate minerals, monoclinic, the Mohs scale. I remember learning about that. But yeah, this is unique. I am pretty into this already. I really like the visuals. And I'm very curious to learn more. Just work on this encyclopedia. Yeah, go do that. What is it that you don't already have in there? Cinnabar. You can go fight Blaine. Yeah, it's an island. He said there's only 28. Is that like just completely total? There's only 28. And you've never even spoken? There are some who've never even spoken to each other? I wonder how many there were at any point. Okay, I guess it's off to Cinnabar, huh? Is this her? Or... I've been told that they don't have genders, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. Just being told again to go to Cinnabar. And at the very least, these subtitles that I'm with right now, called Cinnabar her. Don't touch me with someone else's hand. Really? Okay. That's why the Lunarians are enemies. So that's the girl we saw at the beginning with the red hair. Really now? There's some interesting shit in this episode. I have a lot of questions. But she's the only one out there at night? You'd think the Lunarians would come at night. They're Lunarians, also you're weak at night. But I mean, if she's out there all by herself at night, she's the only one, like, she must be pretty good, yeah? Even if the Lunarians never come, just in case they do, you want somebody who can handle it. There's a lot of information being thrown at me in this episode. I am going to watch it a second time before I record the review. But Cinnabar's by herself, though. Most of the other ones work in pairs. Maybe they'll pair up. Maybe she can teach Phos how to fight. And that's why they've never spoken. Cinnabar's always off out by herself at night. Maybe she sleeps during the day. I don't know if they sleep. That's some of the stuff. And I guess that's why she sticks to herself. Wow, that's a troubled existence. It's gonna be like a kindred spirit type of thing there. Make her seek her out. Maybe. I mean, what else is she gonna do, being how she is? The Master Scholar. Oh. Looks like she's been here. Oh, hey, yeah, I was gonna say, nobody noticed them showing up? That was like a jump scare. But she was here in time, luckily, doing her job. 3.5. Alright, we have our meeting. So let's see what she can do. Huh. What is... Holy... I have questions, I'm intrigued, I'm loving the visuals, I have a lot going in my mind right now. Holy shit. That looks awesome. Okay, so she can handle herself. Oh, you might need 3.5 to save you. Her arms might break off, though. She's already chipping. Doesn't look like she can reach, but the encyclopedia saves the day. And I was right about those arms, so never mind. So how will somebody so brittle join in any of the fight? It's not even that she's chipping, that's the poison that's on her. She's fine anyway. It feels like I've watched like 3 episodes. There's a lot. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of unique stuff. It's interesting to think about already, and the visuals are great. Wow. Okay, we got the poison cleared. That sounds painful. Are her memories intact? Wow. For how long? So her poison is majorly effective on everything around her. There. Not referring to her as male or female. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you could let her do. That's a place that you could give her. Can't die. Yeah, and that's something you could discover. When they're chipped up into gems, are they still in any way conscious? I don't know. I have a lot of questions. The Cape of Emptiness? Fitting. Diamond. Picking radishes? Something like that? Yeah, write it down. Hey! Yeah, I mean, clearly she doesn't want to be doing this. That's the place where Helia was taken. So why not hang out there? But... So, yeah, she's been hoping they'll come. Just let herself be taken. But she was there, so she had to fight to protect her. So if she hadn't been there, Cinnabar might be gone right now. It must be nice to be desired, even by the enemy. All right. Our unlikely friendship will form. And look at the grass just dead. I really can't help but see them all as girls and refer to them as she. It just feels natural. We'll see how it goes. She can't even write or draw properly. Covered up her hand. Or took the other one off. But wow, okay. There was a lot there. That was a pretty jam-packed episode with information and visual overload, not in a bad way, just in like, in addition to all the story and character beats that I'm thinking about, I've got a bunch of the visuals trapped in my mind as well. So that is episode 1. I'm going to go ahead and just watch the ED here, and yeah, I'm going to need to rewatch some stuff before I do the discussion, but here you go. Alright, episode 1 of Land of the Lustrous. This episode kind of caught me off guard, kind of surprised me. Like I said at the beginning, I really didn't know much about the show. I didn't know what the plot would be. All I knew were what the visuals looked like and that we were dealing with human gems. So it surprised me in a lot of ways, in that there was a lot of information. It honestly feels like I watched several episodes, and not in a bad way. Not that I feel like the pacing was too fast or anything, it's just there was a lot of information and a lot to keep up with, a lot of questions asked, a lot of answers given. It really surprised me with the visuals. From what I had seen, I knew I liked generally the way the show looked, and I have seen some of the manga's art and it looks really nice. But seeing the actual show, it looks fantastic. The visuals are great. I love the designs. The CG is really good. I like the way the characters look. I like their designs. I like the hair. The Lunarians were really cool, and the music that came along with them when they first appeared. I didn't know what to expect, and then when this like Rorschach test Inkblot is appearing in the sky and transforming, and they come through and they've got all these effects, and then like the effects of the poison at the end of the episode, it all looks really cool. In addition to all the actual story and character information, my brain was just like full of the visuals at the same time, just thinking back on all of the individual images from the episode and just the directing. It's really well put together visually. I like that a lot. And just in general, I was surprised by how much I just liked it. I really enjoyed the episode. It was really unique, and I hope it stays that way. From what I've heard, just in general, the good things about this and how much people seem to like it, I'm sure it does. I was pretty surprised, because yeah, when I finished this episode, I was like, I want more, even though I felt like I got so much already. I wanted it to keep going longer, and I wanted to see more, and I'm really excited to keep watching, because it was unique and very intriguing, and it could go in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of exposition in this episode, like I said, because there's a lot to it. So there's a decent amount of Phos, the main character, being told things that she should probably already know, including having her own character traits explained to her. It's all for the sake of the audience. But I was like, fuck it, it's fine, because I wanted to know. These things were intriguing, and I wanted those questions answered, so it was good to get answers about the world, because again, it's a very unique setup in many ways, and I want to know a lot more details about this world and about the gems and this conflict with these Lunarians and what's going on and where the plot is going to go and these characters. There's a lot, honestly. If I wanted to talk about every teeny tiny little detail, this might take a while, and I'm sure things are gonna get fleshed out and expanded upon as we go, so I'll have more of an idea about the general direction. But it's great so far. You've got these anthropomorphic gems, and from what we can see, they're in some kind of conflict with these creatures from the moon called Lunarians, and they come to take the gems and use them as jewelry. And like I said, the Lunarian design is really cool. The music that came along with them was great. And then the second time they appeared, when there was no music or sound effects or anything, when you saw them, that was great too. And the reaction, I said it was like a jump scare, because that was really good. The camera was spinning around, and then it panned over, and then you just see them suddenly up there in the corner. It's like, oh shit, they're just here. Holy fuck. That was a really good moment. But yeah, with these gems, they're like actual gem people, and they're based on real gems, and they even go by the Mohs hardness scale. So you've got like Diamond, which is a 10 on the scale and is really hard, and you've got other ones like our main character Phos, who's only a 3.5, so she's very brittle and fragile. It might be Phos, because it's a phosphophilite. I'm pretty sure it's Phos, I guess that's how it's said. It sounds like they're saying Phos, but of course they're speaking Japanese. They have their accents. Phos kind of sounds better to me, but I don't know, the more I think about Phos, that sounds okay too. If it's supposed to be Phos, let me know. I'm gonna call it whatever I want, regardless, whatever sounds better to me. But that brings it on to the next thing. They don't have genders, and I don't know if I would have picked up on that on my own. That's just something that I knew beforehand. I think they were gendered in the episode. I have a memory of them calling Cinnabar a her one time, I think that I saw that, but sometimes they're also just referred to as they. They don't have genders, even though they're kind of all girls. I mean, some of them are a little more masculine and have a little more masculine voices, but as far as I could tell, they might all be voiced by women. They're all pretty much kind of girls. Of course, they've got the flat chests, but they've all got pretty pronounced asses because of the little booty shorts. And I wouldn't be surprised if like part of the appeal of designing them this way was to look like cute girls, to appeal to certain audiences. I definitely so far mostly see them as girls, and my instinct is to just call them she, her, and such. But we'll see about that going forward. I don't know how much that matters to the overall message of the show or anything. I'm not that far along yet, but for now they kind of stand out as girls to me. But it's definitely interesting, and they're gems, so they can be shattered and taken by these Lunarians and used as jewelry, and I'm just really curious about that, because they don't actually die. If you get all the pieces, you can put them back together, and I want to know how that works. Like, do they retain consciousness? And how does that work? At what point do they stop retaining consciousness, if that is the case? Because they talk about one friend of theirs who was taken, and they're starting to get their pieces back. But they don't die, and I really like the one line that the Doctor had, just like, because of this unique nature of our species that no other species is like, and that we don't die and we're able to keep being put back together. We have a hard time letting go of things. And that's interesting too, like a species who doesn't have to worry about that, about death, and if they get broken apart, it's fine, put them back together. That's an interesting thought. I wonder if that'll ever be expanded upon further. In certain circumstances, they have to be chipped, like when Phos gets poison on her, so those pieces have to be chipped away, and they're not going to come back. They just cover it up with makeup, and apparently, when you get chipped away, you lose pieces of yourself permanently. You can lose memories. So that's the kind of thing that could happen a lot in the future. These characters can't die, but they could essentially lose who they are. If you don't have your memories, it's debatable whether you're even the same person in a lot of ways. And it happened to Phos a little bit here. She had some pieces chipped away from her. So has she lost any memories? We really don't know. The Doctor asks her, like, have you forgotten anything? Not really a good question to ask the person who may have forgotten something. If they forgot it, they're not going to know that they forgot it. So we'll see. It could turn out that already she has lost some memories, however minor, from this incident. We don't know yet. But even if she hasn't yet, that could happen to her or other characters in the future, and that could be like a major way to raise the stakes. I mean, even if they can't die, they could still be taken by the Lunarians and then turned into jewelry, and that's bad. Even though they can be recovered, it's a very bad thing. But even beyond that, you have the stakes of them losing their memories and losing who they are. They're powered by the sun and useless at night, but I want to know the details of what that means, because you have Cinnabar who goes out at night, and they say she can be out there because the reflection of her poison and everything allows her to see, but Phos said, like, they're useless at night. Like, are they actually? Is it just because they can't see? Or, like, do they actually get weak at night? Anything beyond that? I wouldn't think so. Is it just because they can't see? What's the deal with that? The Lunarians don't come out at night, which you'd think they would, being from the moon, and also if the gems aren't good at night, you'd think they would come then, but generally they don't come at night. They have jobs that they do. Most of them just seem to fight, and they usually fight in pairs of their lookouts. But Phos is clumsy and inept and not really suited for many things. She's very brittle, only a 3.5. on the scale, so she's just not very good at a lot of things, but she wants to find a place in the world, a meaning to her life, something that she can do, even if that's just for now making an encyclopedia, which she's not too psyched about. It's like, it's a mundane, I want something more interesting, although by the end she seems to be more into it. She wants some recognition, so when they're like, oh, you're a master scholar, she's kind of like, alright, and then by the end she's decided that there's something she can actually maybe contribute. Just writing random mundane shit in the encyclopedia is no fun, but if she can actually make some kind of important, interesting discovery, then okay, that's a worthwhile job to have, and she's made it her mission to find a place for Cinnabar to belong other than where she is now. So it's just the start of this unlikely friendship, and I really want to see where that goes. If Phos can somehow become a fighter, I mean, she is the main character, so you would have to think at some point she would, but maybe not. I don't know how much action is even going to play a part in this show, the Lunarians and that whole plot. I really don't know what the main focus is going to be, how much else there is to this world, because it's such a unique, interesting place. More shit could be revealed in every episode that I don't even know about yet. But she's so brittle, and also it happens to be that her color is one that's particularly desired by the Lunarians, so putting her out in battle is not a great idea. Their master, Congo, even says, like, you would have to be stronger than me if you wanted to be out there, just because of those disadvantages that you have. Plus, since they often fight in pairs or teams, you might not want somebody out there who can't handle themselves, because that could affect the other people as well. She already had to be protected at the end of this episode. But speaking of Kongo, their master, no idea what the hell the deal with this guy is. He is really powerful. He can just get mad and yell and shatter some of these gems. He can snap his fingers and the Lunarians just disappeared? Can he just do that? And I'm not sure there what happened with the gems that they had started taking from the two girls they defeated, because they were taking some and collecting them. The guy snapped and they went away. And then later we had the two girls being put back together, and they seem fully put back together, so I don't know if the pieces of the gems stayed behind. I don't think that was just them like teleporting away to run away from him. It seemed perfectly timed. His snap made them go away. I don't know if it just affected them and left behind all the gem pieces for those two girls, but I want to know what the deal with him is. He's really, really strong. Those two girls were a little overconfident, Morga and Gauche, or underestimating their opponents, or both, and they even said that this was like a small sunspot, but they were like, nah, we don't have to tell them, we can take care of it ourselves. But if this was just a small one, and they usually work in pairs, and Morga was even referred to by Phos as an ace. She's a 7 on the hardness scale, so I don't know if the scale's going to directly relate to strength, you know, but at the very least, durability. And they got beaten. The only reason they didn't get taken completely is because Phos told. So it seems like they're pretty outmatched here, just judging by that one battle. I don't know, maybe it usually goes differently than that. Maybe we'll see some stuff from the other gems, but just judging by that one battle, they seem really outmatched. And he does mention like their crazy infinite numbers versus us, who's only 28. It's only 28 of them. I don't know if that counts Master Kongo, or there's 28 gems and then him. I don't know how many there ever were at any point, but there are not a lot. I don't know what to call them. Do they have a species name? If they said it, I don't remember it. I'm just calling them gems. You know, I don't know what their world is. There's so much I want to know. It's really interesting, really unique. I'm liking it a lot, but yeah, it seems like they're pretty outmatched, just judging by that one battle. And I want to know more about like any kind of fighting techniques they might have. We just saw them using swords and being very agile and flipping through the air really well and whatnot, but do any of them else have unique abilities? Because Cinnabar has her poison, so you would think a lot of them probably have to have something like that, or is it really just their durability and their individual fighting prowess that determines their usefulness in battle, or do we have other abilities? I don't really know. So far, we do meet Diamond for a little bit in this episode. Very shiny hair. Like I said before, on the Mohs scale, Diamond is a 10. It's very, very hard, so she's very durable, but you know, what kind of other stuff can a gem like her do? I'd really like to know, but on to Cinnabar, since she's also a big focus in this episode. Seems like she'll probably be like the secondary main character. She patrols out at night. She's the only one who can be out there at night, and even though the Lunarians never come, she's out there. And at first I was thinking, well, she has to be pretty capable then, because even though they never come at night, even if they did, you want to have somebody out there who can handle it. And she sure seems like she can. The fight at the end was really cool. I loved the effects of her poison and the fighting that happened there. And it's unfortunate. You have, like I said in the reaction, kindred spirits that can kind of develop here for people who aren't wanted or aren't satisfied with their place in life, have low hardness. Phos was even saying, I never imagined could somebody be somebody out there who might be more useless or whatever than good for nothing me. And even literally on the scale, Cinnabar is weaker. She's only a 2 in terms of hardness. She just has this crazy poison ability that just affects everything around her that she can't turn off, that's just like breathing to her, and it just kind of destroys living things that are around her, and it destroys things that she touches, and she can't do anything about it. And the only place they could have for her is to be out there by herself at night, and she can't really interact with people. So much so that she wanted to be taken away. She was at the place where the last girl was taken because she wanted them to come take her. And what she said to Phos when she was like, wow, it must be nice to be desired even by your enemies, that hits kind of hard. Like, you know, that's a bad thing for Phos, that she would be targeted that way because they want to take her and use her for jewelry. But Cinnabar's actually envious of it. You're desired even by your enemies. You know, she can't even touch things. She left that handprint on the book, and she was sad about that, had to put on gloves to even pick it up again. She wanted to be taken here, but of course she fought them because Phos was there. Once again, if it hadn't been for Phos, somebody else would have been taken. Saves the day quite a lot in this episode for somebody who's supposed to be useless, but of course she doesn't want others to get killed. She has probably experienced, you know, enough destruction around her just because of this poison, which apparently has had like a legitimate long-lasting effect on the area that she fought in. I don't know how long, but they said it's serious, so it's legit stuff. She's seen enough of that. She doesn't want anyone else around her to be hurt. She's seen enough. And I looked it up, and Cinnabar is apparently composed partially of mercury, from what I could tell, so that's what that deal is all about, mercury poisoning. So again, with some of these other gems, minerals, elements, whatever, you know, you could try to incorporate characteristics of them into the abilities of the characters. I don't know how many unique ones you could get, though, because you've got something like this with poison, but what other unique abilities do they really have, other than their varying degrees of hardness? I don't know. I'm sure you could come up with something weird. A lot of other characters in the background or who have minor roles. Of course, we know there's 28 total, so I'm sure we get to know some of them a little bit more. I'm curious to meet them, see what they're all about. We've got some fun interactions in this one, like just between Phos and Cinnabar, or with Morga and Ghost, or some of the other ones, like the Doctor Lady, all these characters in the background. Lot of characterization already, a really unique world, fantastic visuals, and yeah, there's probably a lot more I could talk about. I could probably go just keep asking questions for a lot longer, but I think we're going to call it there for now. I'm really excited to watch more and see what direction it's going to go, what else is going to be revealed, what kind of stuff is going to happen, what kind of show it's going to be, and just to see more cool designs of stuff, because the visuals are really neat, and just I want to see more unique aspects from this show. So if you have anything you want to say about this show, about this episode, anything you want to talk about, we can keep talking about it down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and share the video with other people who you think might enjoy it as well. And you can check out the Patreon if you want to be able to vote on what shows I watch and see the next episode out already, because they come out a week early over there. So I appreciate the support. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you next time. I'm excited to be starting this new show.